Absolutely. See, substitution of state for the church was the function of the secular socialist movement.
Yes.
Now come to Max Weber. So Max Weber said that unless a society conforms to this individualism, it will never develop. This, he coupled it with a book on religion of Hinduism and Buddhism, where he said two societies will never come up under modern capitalist conditions. That is China and India, because of Buddhism and Hinduism, which believe in karma and rebirth, which has no role for an individual's advancement. There is no individual initiative left. So there is no question of entrepreneurship developing, there is no question of market economy developing in these two societies. This became the basis of the Indian thinking, that you have to demolish the Indian philosophy, way of life, in order to atomize your society, produce dominant individualism, conforming to the Weberian model or Marxian model. Then only you can develop. This was the educational model in economics, in sociology, in politics, in public discourse. All these things were pushed. Don't think it was only a colonial movement. In the year 1951, the United Nations issued a document, Measures for the Development of Underdeveloped Economies, in which they said, you cannot develop just like that. It calls for a lot of sacrifices. The sacrifice you have to make is, you have to give up your philosophy, you have to give up your way of life, you have to give up your caste, community, all relationships. This was a mandate given by the United Nations. This was rooted in a speech which Truman had delivered a year back, exactly in the same terms. America has the responsibility to ensure that the world is prepared for development, and he suggested this model. And this was common to both communism and capitalism, because between communism and capitalism there is no great difference.
There was also, before nations started getting independence, there was also a whole movement to define the qualifications, the credentials you need to be ready for independence. And that had to be the concept of a state as per the Western model of a state.
Correct.
So nations had to prove that I am ready, I am capable of self-rule. Because I'm getting into that, or either I qualify or I will be able to qualify.
And you will decide whether I am qualified or not.
That's correct. So this whole idea of, are you fit to rule, fitness to self-rule, became an issue.
So the idea of state, nation, people, the relationship between the two, all this became defined by the Western notion of divine right theory, modified by social contract theory, modified by democratically elected state. Otherwise, in substance, the idea of state remains the same. But what I am saying, I am more coming to economics.
Right.
In economics, they say, you rule in whatever manner you want to rule. But you say, no, you cannot develop unless you give up your philosophy in stated terms. This became common to both communism and capitalism, because Karl Marx basically believed, unless the capitalist boom takes place, wealth is built, there is a huge amount of exploitation takes place, there is no way communist revolution will come. But that communist revolution never came, because all communist revolutions became social and not economic. So the full-blown capitalism is what Karl Marx wanted. And full-blown capitalism and communism rested on the same approach to life. There should be no prayer, all the past is wrong. So we should give up our philosophy, way of life, relationships. So we should pursue only happiness and money and whatever in life. It is purely body related.
A material world.
Material world. There is absolutely no difference between capitalism and communism on this. Both have no place for religion. They both have no place for spiritualism. Both have no place for morality other than financial morality. Both have no place for social relationship. both have no place even for human relationship like parents, husband, wife. In fact, communism went to the extent of saying women should be nationalized. There should be no husband, a woman should be common property of everybody. So this was a chaotic model which they developed. Only thing is, capitalism aligned to democracy. So to that extent, it was not as oppressive as communism.
Because there was a way to release the pressure once in a while.
Once in a while.
Once in a while, the people would say, okay, get out of here.
Okay.
Yes.
So